Because this emerged in the city of Pittsburgh, we learn a great deal from looking at the city's circumstances and how they arranged to have it discovered there, meaning the Texas School Book, with the script for all of this. But the participation factor was far more international in scope. So, what do we learn from the city of Pittsburgh? Well, there were key players. One of them was Lou Brecker, and another was Cyril Wecht, both from the Jewish community. And their names conjoined to spell out Brecht, Bertolt Brecht. The script itself is a play on Man is Man by Bertolt Brecht. It was meant to be chillingly used as resistance to the rise of Nazi Germany, for Brecht was, after all, a defender of the Weimar Republic by Nazi Germany and its revenge, a flip of the wrist, so to speak. And Man is Man was coded for the Christian idea that we all have to overcome the enemy within. Well, it turns out that the philosophy of Adolf Hitler was one that believed that amoral events were universal and that man couldn't escape his amoral genetic drive. Well, that's a little much to say all of us believe, all of us share, and all of us are answerable to. And they had a child. One of the characteristics of this cult is to use their most prized possessions, their children, for roles, some of which involve lying to their children. Saul Brecker was not lied to. The idea was a soul breaker, breaking the soul of the person who puts up resistance to the inevitable destruction of morality that constitutes the amoral philosophy that was avenging itself. It also traces back to Blythe Sanders mingling cinema and reality, stealing from other poets, and having films made by both the Axis and by the Allies, whose one-armed condition is alluded to in Fassbinder's movie. But it's the invisible arm that should concern us from Hollywood. So in Pittsburgh, we have the International Poetry Forum, Sam Hazo, a familiar of Cyril Wecht, and John Schulman. They designated me a world poet, an item, an invisible handshake, so to speak, from Blythe Sanders' invisible arm. And this was meant to signify my inevitable imprisonment in Trump's cruel and stupid narrative. It's a narrative prison that you're not supposed to break out of. And there's signifiers from the international dimension coded for Hitler's amoral philosophy. Womanizing has been overused by this black male cult and the dunderheads in the food fight for union advancement, the Gramsci school of jockeying for position. It has to go. It has to stop. We will never get the better of this situation. The terrible truth is that the international situation used such things as the Sea and the Star of David for the extermination direction of the pornography cult that they unleashed. Seattle was so foolish as to buy into this and slash Shannon Harps in the name of affirmation that all intelligence in the matter was the sacred property of Yoko Ono and Paul McCartney because of a twist of Lennon, as Cynthia Lennon put it, that confers guilt on the United States and rubber stamps and notarizes Adolf Hitler's revenge in the name of someone they called Casper, the invisible arm, Lazarus, the walrus, the spirit of Lenin. It's a strange operation, but it's terribly consistent, and it's necessary and good to try to get wise to it.